Hey, you know better, not in the face.
All right now, show's over.
Right, let's get going, Claire. Come on, boss is waiting.
No! Let go of me! Somebody help me!
Let her go. That woman you're holding, let her go.
Hey, Gramps, how about keeping your nose out of this? Or maybe you have a death wish!
Didn't you hear me? I said let her go. I wouldn't do that. You're the only one in the group who's packing a gun. And of course, you think that weapon will give you the advantage over this knife. But a gun requires a more involved procedure. It takes 3 steps: draw, aim carefully, and shoot. But a knife requires only 1. At this distance, there's no doubt who'll win. It'll be me. It's your decision. Do you still want to try? Please don't follow me.
Une putain, il l'embarrasse.
Il fait si froid.
Je n'aime pas les cheveux noirs.
Oui.
Someone's after you, too. We're in this together.
These knife wounds are the work of a professional.
Impressive job.
Chief Honor, I've just received word that another victim has been discovered in one of the suites at the Earl's Court Hotel. Murdered by the skillful hand of a knife expert.
In other words, to put it simply, the culprit commits foul play at an Earl's Court Hotel and leaves the scene. He then assists a girl he happens upon at the Whitechapel tube station and in doing so butchers this scoundrel. So immediately after his first murder, he decides to help out a woman by killing another man. He's a strange one.
The victim found in the underground was a hoodlum from Mayfair, went by the name of Robin. And as for the first victim at the Earl's Court Hotel, he's Paul Sparrow, an ex-military special service agent. Became a fur trader who imported goods from the Middle East.
Fur trader from the Middle East.
That's the usual MO for heroin smuggling.
Our man might have a military background.
From the looks of it, that's probably true. The handling of the knife was professional.
A single stab wound straight through the heart?
Yeah. About 30 years ago, I was a soldier stationed in the Congo. There was a knife specialist among us. He could line up the knife's blade parallel to the ground like they do in the movies, but he never targeted the heart first. While whipping out the knife, he would simultaneously sever the victim's major artery. Then, for the final blow, he would slash the carotid artery or pierce the organs. An amateur would never see it coming. Faster than a bullet at close range. One more thing. I've heard that the Corsicans are increasing their presence. Are we talking the Corsican Mafia?
They're involved in this case?
You shouldn't rule out the possibility, gentlemen. A military-trained knife pro and French gangsters. Looks like it's going to be a difficult case, not just on an investigative level, but on a political one as well. Be discreet in your investigations.
Excuse me, Chief Order. Colonel Fox of the SAS is here to see you.
SAS?
Oh, I'm coming. Colonel Fox. I, too, was in the military. I know what it means when a high-ranking officer shows up. The first victim was an elite former officer of the army. And this whole thing smells of a Middle East drug operation involving the Corsicans. Let's cut to the chase, make things easy. The culprit's ex-military, same as Sparrow, and the two have a history in the drug trade. So we've got a couple of dealers on our hands, and for some reason they get into a dispute of some sort, and one ends up killing the other. Am I wrong?
It's as you stated. Sparrow had been involved in the smuggling of heroin from Afghanistan. He was most likely murdered by this man, James Wolfe, ex-Army Staff Sergeant. An instructor, formerly of the SAS.
You're up already.
Yeah.
So, tell me who Karen is. You were talking in your sleep. A girlfriend?
No, about my mother. I was just having some dream about my childhood.
I see. You had a childhood. What kind of a boy were you?
Well, I used to do a lot of hunting.
Really?
I remember my first catch was a rabbit. They're light-footed animals, but once a hunter corners the rabbit, it freezes in its tracks, and then it's hunted. I know what that's like.
But you look so strong to me.
No, my time will come, just like the rabbits. I'm not afraid to die. However, before I go, I've still got some unfinished business.
Poor little rabbit. Just like me. My boss is a man by the name of Leo Hanna, an evil tyrant who makes his living off drugs and women. I recently figured it out. That continuing to work for someone with his reputation just makes me trash. So I tried to quit and get out of London as fast as I could, but they managed to track me down. And that's when you came to my rescue. You know, you can have me. I know. Got a surprise for you.
Stop that!
But why? This is premium coke, worth a lot more than heroin, you know.
That stuff is only good for worthless scum! I'm sorry. Take good care.
Wait! I'll do exactly what you want me to. I'll even quit drugs. They won't hesitate to kill me if they know I'm alone. I understand. I'm so filthy you don't even want to have sex with me. You're right. I'm disgusting. I'm scum.
Listen, do you want to live? Tell me, do you really want to live? The people who realize how miserable their existence is and attempt to make a better life for themselves are not scum. No, they're only human. Here's £300,000. For you. There's a woman by the name of Claire. I want you to leave her alone.
You think offering this money will excuse you for what you've done? Listen, pal, don't you know that I'm Leo Hanna?
Don't drop your left hand.
Whoa, whoa, hey, just wait a minute. Look, even you can see I'm right-handed.
There's a knife callus on the top joint of your left index finger. It's too bad you gave yourself away. Just take the money quietly.
Fool! If only you hadn't decided to traffic in cocaine. The town's now full of Corsicans. You've just managed to turn the entire syndicate into your enemy.
James Wolfe, the most decorated man in the history of the Special Air Service. And after a history of remarkable achievements, he worked as an instructor. But due to some trouble, he was discharged for misconduct.
What trouble?
He attacked one of his colleagues, slashed the man's arm with a knife. And because of his impeccable record, he wasn't dishonorably discharged, but he was asked to leave the army voluntarily. Another shame. He was quite popular and exceptional in character.
That's a problem. Wolf's a combat specialist of an elite fighting force. So how are we to deal with this man?
The SAS wants to step in and take care of this mess. We have already taken the liberty of preparing an advisor.
No, thank you. You're talking about a hunter to mop things up.
Well, he certainly doesn't look like a hunter.
Keaton, why don't you buckle down and get to it? Why don't you take on these jobs that are piling up? Hey, how about that case involving that great ice pig murderer? Yeah, why don't you choose that one, Keaton? Keaton,
Pass.
how can we help
Experts
you?
of sharp weapons aren't for me.
Right, yes.
When I was a private in the Army, there was this amazing knife-fighting expert. I don't want to ever face that type of guy again.
Colonel Fox of the Army?
Keaton, it's the SAS. He says he needs to talk to you about Professor Wolfe.
James Wolfe and Paul Sparrow completed the SAS selection course in the same year. After Wolfe was discharged, Sparrow convinced him to use the connections they'd made while serving in Afghanistan in order to smuggle heroin.
But the drugs they handled were considered small time. In fact, their little operation never posed a serious threat in the eyes of the European syndicate. That is, until they began trafficking in cocaine.
What?
Today's younger generation prefer the speedy effects of cocaine rather than the dopey high of heroin. But the Corsican syndicate is limited to its single transportation route via the US. Knowing this, the two of them started smuggling directly from the coca-growing regions in South America. So it looks like the mafia's on the verge of a crisis. It could turn ugly.
I still can't believe it. The great professor getting involved in the drug trade?
Professor?
That was Wolfe's nickname while teaching at the base. It's the highest honor the privates can bestow upon an instructor.
So, where's the professor right now?
He's dropped out of sight and is presently on the run with a girl who's young enough to pass as his daughter.
A girl?
A prostitute. Wolfe murdered one of the hired goons who was linked to a local sex ring. And in saving this runaway girl, he also turned them against him. There's no place left for him in this town. That man, he's sure difficult to understand.
Wait a minute. You've just reminded me he did have a daughter.
So what are you going to do with your life now that you're leaving the army, Sergeant?
I have a wonderful daughter. Her name is Karen. I haven't been able to do anything for her, and now we can spend a little time together and make up for those lost years.
But, Professor, it's because of me you have to.
Keaton, enough. Not another word.
Hello?
It's me.
Thank God. You're fine. Tell me you're fine. It's safe for me to leave?
Make your way to Southport, then find yourself a room at the Sail Yard Inn. I'll be there later.
No, wait! I heard news. That there's a lone man who went against the Corsicans, that the syndicate's after him. It isn't you, is it?
If something should happen to me, you'll have to make it on your own. Look, don't worry. Even a fleeing rabbit can kill a hunting dog if it's cornered. You must never give up. Never.
Oh, James, I...
Hold on, Chief Otter. Any idea who the sponsor is? I've heard that every smuggling syndicate operating in Britain has one. An upper-class sponsor who's normally willing to front money and transport the drugs in their personal yacht.
We haven't been able to confirm it. However, take a good look at the man standing next to Sparrow.
It can't be. Lord Swan?
When the Syndicate found out about Sparrow and Wolf's activities, they likely contacted the notorious Lord Swan to buy out the cocaine smuggling route.
And Sparrow sold out Wolf by joining forces with Lord Swan, who was in league with the Syndicate. Together they cut Wolf out of the business.
Well, that pretty much explains their falling out.
Keaton, Wolf obviously considered you his star pupil. What options do we have here?
I appreciate your situation, but I'm afraid I'm no match for him.
We're not asking you to fight him, only to prevent a third murder.
And the intended victim?
Swan, of course. Given the type of man Wolf has shown himself to be, there's no way he'll overlook the only man left. Swan isn't about to get off scot-free.
James Wolfe. Afraid the name doesn't ring a bell, gentlemen. If I understand you, this man's after my life. I appreciate you wanting to protect a prominent member of society like myself. But you see, I shall be away from my residence tomorrow on personal business. Forgive my rudeness, but I shall have to ask you to leave at once.
Listen, sir, you should take extreme precautions. That Swan character. He may have feigned utter indifference, but one thing I'm sure of, he's afraid of Wolf.
Yeah.
The security's top-notch. Are they Swan's men? Probably not.
I think I'll take a little stroll. Wait for me in the car.
Huh? Hey, wait for me! Hmm? A laser sensor? Mr. Keaton, be careful there.
Lord Swan, there's a Leohana waiting at the back door.
Without having an appointment, what does the man want?
It's about Wolf. He says he has information regarding his weak spot.
Keaton, what are you doing up there? Come on down. Wait! We're the police. I myself am an official from Scotland Yard.
Salut, bon travail. Excusez-moi, je suis ici avec la police. Je ne suis pas un étranger, j'ai été invité par Monsieur Swan. Laissez-moi passer. Merci.
Which fate is worse, a hail of bullets or hungry Dobermans? Ah, well, that should be plenty enough to keep Wolf away from here, too. How'd you get it into your head to start speaking to them in French?
Their faces had a Mediterranean look about them. But I noticed they were packing PPKs stamped with the license seal of a French company. That's how.
Good detective work. Those men are Corsican. They've been sent directly by the Syndicate to protect their investment, Swan.
Corsican Mafia.
Complete and total security. They're part of that deplorable crime organization whereby members adhere to a code of silence. So what on earth would possess Wolf to go up against them? Don't know. It's like digging your own grave, I'm afraid to say.
I see. So now I've got the SAS coming after me. They've chosen their best hunter, so it'll be a fight to the finish.
It's the final battle for Keaton, but now he's up against an old friend who once saved him from an adversary. The young woman is discovered and taken captive, and Keaton must dream up a way to rescue her. But first he must face the hunter, a man named Wolf, who had no mercy for his prey. Next time, Hunting Season Part 2.